May.
May. Okay.
We were coming back to Hoyerswerda, where we lived. We were refugees.
Yeah.
It's a little bit complicated now, but I'd like to answer your question. The war ended in May. In June, we came back from the place where we had been refugees to our city, Hanover,
Hoyerswerda.
Hoyerswerda, and then came this miraculous contact between my mother and my father. Father stayed in the West. Mother came back and said, "We bring everything on the other side," and that was genius. What she had.
Yeah. And then once you arrived in Hanover, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you have housing immediately, or were you like homeless for a while?
Yeah, and my father, after being, he was prisoner of war, and then he was liberated by the British, and then he had a very far cousin in Hanover, and he stayed there, and he looked for a job, and he became at that time truck driver. He was a teacher, and he was truck driver, and that is why he knew all the ins and outs, and he knew that we were coming with the furniture, and he had rented a barn, and we put all the things in it. He was really waiting literally at the other side of the border. He was waiting for us. We put the furniture in it, and then we went not by truck, we went by railway to Hanover. And a job mate of my father had a kind of, like we have here, these garden houses, but a little bit bigger. And he had said to my father, "Okay, if your family is coming, you can go there." And we lived in that place more than 1.5 years.
When was your first like real house?
When was the first of?
Like a real house, like not a garden shed.
Okay. Then my father became entnazifiziert. How do you say it? That is, all German people at that time had to prove in how far they were connected with the Nazi regime. And so to denazify, and my father could prove that he never had been Nazi, and so he was asked to become teacher again. And he had 3 different places, and he chose one that was Bad Münder, and that's where we had our first home. But this first home was 2 rooms for a family of 4 persons. 1 sitting room, 1 kitchen. And my bed was under the kitchen table. So in the evening, in the daytime, the kitchen table was like this, and in the evening it was lifted like that, and underneath was my bed.
Yeah.
Okay, that happened in 46 to 47.
Okay.
So more 1.5 years, roughly.
Yeah.
We crossed the border exactly on Christmas in 45, and then we stayed in Hanover about 1.5, 2 years. And I went to school there again.
You went to school in Hanover?
In Hanover. But because my first schooling was on the other side,
Yeah.
and I only stayed there for 1 month. I came to school in February, and the first grade was finishing in March. So I made my first grade in about 2 months. And that is the reason why my handwriting is awful. I never learned really to write. And then I came already in April or May 46. I came into the second grade, and then we went to Bad Münder, and here my parents thought that for my sister, who was 8 years older than I, and myself, they should find a real good homestead. And they decided, they bought a piece of land, and they decided to construct a house. But Theo, at that time, there was not many possibilities for construction material, because it was in 48, just after the devaluation of the Deutschmark, and of the Reichsmark, and that became Deutschmark, and the construction material was not existing due to the war. But however, they constructed that, and the house was finished in, also 48, 49, I think 49. And then we had our own house. It was a double house. One half was for our family, and the other one was for another family. And then, of course, we were happy
Yeah.
to be at home.
Yeah. And
By the way, your father still knows that house, because my mother became very old, and when your father was already born, we visited my mother in that place.
oh,
And can you imagine that she, who became 92 years old, was having the whole time the furniture she had bought at her wedding in 1925.
wow. Yeah.
That is because she was so clever with this train arrangement,
Yeah.
and
Truck.
so she lived in her furniture. It was very seldom that it happened for refugees.
Yeah. And then, like, over the years that you were living in the West,
Yeah.
like, what differences did you notice, and like, what differences started to, like, happen between the East and the West?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.